This video is going to show you how to complete page 84 out of your math book. So the first problem says, indicate whether the following statements are summarizing data collected to answer a statistical question from a population or from a sample. Identify references in the statement as population characteristics or sample statistics. So letter A says, 54 of the responders to a poll at a university indicated that wealth needed to be distributed more evenly among people. So the population would be all the students attending the university. The sample would be those that responded to the poll. A poll is like another name for a survey. And that 54% right there, 54% of the responders to a poll, that right there is a sample statistic because it goes with the sample. It's 54% of those that responded to the poll. Okay, the next problem. Are students in the Bay Shore School District proficient on the state assessments in mathematics? In 2013, after all the tests taken by the students in the Bay Shore schools were evaluated, over 52% of those students were at or above proficient on the state assessment. So the population that they were interested in learning about would be all the students in the Bay Shore School District. And that 52% of those students is a population characteristic because it's 52% of those in that population. Next problem says, does talking on mobile phones while driving distract people? Researchers measured the reaction times of 38 study participants as they talked on mobile phones and found that the average level of distraction from their driving was rated 2 and 25/100ths out of 5. So the population that they were trying to gather information upon is all the drivers in the population. So all drivers. Okay. And their sample would be those that participated in the study. Okay, and then that 2 and 25/100ths out of 5, that's a sample statistic because that data was taken from that sample. All right, the next problem says, did most people living in New York in 2010 have at least a high school education? Based on data collected from all New York residents in 2010 by the U.S. Census Bureau, 84.6% of people living in New York had at least a high school education. So the population that they were interested in learning about were all the people living in New York in 2010. I'm abbreviating people. And that 84 and 6/10% would be a population characteristic because that information was drawn directly from the population. Whenever you see something with the census conducts a study of everybody in America. They poll every single person, okay? And the reason they don't do censuses very often is because it's just such a big undertaking. It's very expensive and it just kind of takes a while to interpret, and analyze all that data. Okay, so that population characteristic, I kind of got lost. Oh yeah, it was 84.6%. Okay. Next question. Were there more deaths than births in the United States between July 2011 and July 2012, data from a health service agency indicated that there were 2% more deaths than births in the United States during that time frame. So the population would be all the people in the United States. Okay, and then that 2% is a population characteristic because they took that from the data regarding all the births and deaths in the United States.